Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's good to see you. We have Apollo in the background. I have the camera working this time. He's just resting, so we're going to let him be. If it's your first time here, welcome. This is my favorite way to start every week because we get a chance to all come together here and take a look at present energies, the 7 days ahead, and then a special topic which you selected. Today, it was to reboot the mental program, Control Alt Delete, and find a way to really get unblocked. So if you're watching live, I did put a little Q&A piece. You can tell me some areas where you're being blocked. I also put a poll up. Let me know how you're feeling today. I will use that as we get into the main reading, and we'll see how I organize that. I might do it a little bit differently just because we're looking at blockages. So more to come on that. We're going to start off with some channeled messages. Before I do that, a quick reminder, if you enjoy what you see here, it's free and it helps. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. And also for those who were kind enough to ask, my air conditioner is still broken. I will have my window cracked today, so you might hear some outdoor noises. I'm going to be relocated in this apartment complex because of the problems here. So that's the update on that. Okay, channeled messages. All right, for channeled messages today, it was so interesting because I was connecting with the element of fire, which is passion, creation, sometimes even just this feeling of irritation or inflammation. But my guides will communicate with music sometimes, and it's a very old Sarah McLachlan song, like from the 90s, not that old, but it's older, called Into the Fire, that I kept hearing in my dreams, and I kept seeing the element of fire. And I woke up this morning and I thought, this is an interesting energy to come into the collective with, because fire is also necessary for forging new things, creation, right? But before you step into the fire, you have to be ready for it. You have to be prepared. And over the past couple of monthly readings that I've been doing, the theme of preparation, like not just being mindful, but being sort of very organized and strategic, has also been a common theme. So it's being brought now to the collective because you don't want to play with fire. You have to, it's a tool, it's an element that needs to be respected. A lot can happen this week with the energy of fire creation, transmutation. But if you're not ready, or if you just sort of like wing it, it's not going to be as effective or as easy for you. So today is a perfect day to get passionate, to plan, and not to just jump straight into the fire. There may be more energy coming through in relationships because fire is passion. That's why if you get the Ace of Wands in a relationship, it's pretty good. It shows that there's sparks, right? Fire is also ideation, which is why the Queen of Wands is such an effective leader. She can come up with new ideas. Fire is a clearing agent. There's a lot of wild flowers that only grow after a wildfire because they need the heat to germinate. So lean into it. Lean into this sort of new energy that's coming through this week, and try not to get overwhelmed. Staying grounded is good. One way you can put out a fire is by taking the earth and putting it on top of it. So if you're feeling too much energy, put your feet on the ground. Ground yourself in an activity or a relationship or something that kind of is creating stability. And I think earth and fire will help you throughout this week because those are the two elements that come through. We will look at all the elements in a little bit, but that was the main message today. Kind of beautiful. I don't think I really get elemental magic coming through all the time, but this is a week where things can also grow quickly. Fire spreads, so kind of like the World card, it's also a good energy for announcing something, delivering something, distributing something. So that's kind of fun. Somewhere down the line, I might do more of a reading on the elements or something because yeah, they're fascinating. That's why we have 4 suits after the 4 elements, after all. All right, now let's get practical and tactical. Still magical, but we're going to look at the 7-day forecast and see what kind of things want to come through for the week ahead. I think I might use this old Morgan Greer deck for this. So if you haven't already tuned in, now's a good time to do that. And I don't mean to the channel, I mean into your channel. So close your eyes as I'm shuffling. Imagine that you are under the warmth and light of the sun, and it's creating a circle around your body. In that circle, you're protected and connected. And now you can direct your energy to source. Angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, come on in. I should say, of the highest energy as well. We're only looking for blessings and guidance today. Always important to set intentions before doing a reading. Next Sunday looks interesting. Okay, let's start off with today. I love this old deck because it's zoomed in on all of the main characters and it kind of gives us the things to focus on because we can get so easily distracted. So here we don't see any followers, we just see the Hierophant. He normally has 2 people to either sides. Instead, we're focusing on organization, structure, and keys or opportunities. So get organized today. It's a great time to, I've been saying this, I feel like a broken record for the past couple of days because of the daily card pulls, but finding a way to get yourself organized because there's a lot of dreaming energy that's been coming through with like 7 of Cups, 8 of Wands. I just saw a lot of energy and it's now coming through with fire. So figure out how to take an idea and execute on it. That's how you can get out of the 7 of Cups where you're constantly, your head's ricocheting. Pick one of those things and then engage with Hierophant energy and structure it, plan it, figure out how you would want to build it. There's more than one way to do this. That's why there's 2 keys in front of the papal figure here. We also see an archetype here, something that represents old ways of thinking, old ways of doing things, and sometimes it can be a block, speaking of blocks, because it's too traditional, it's too rigid. The Hierophant's powerful, it's spiritual, but it's also super old. And we are now in an age where this can sometimes not be as relevant or as caught up with the times. So evolution of rigid thinking is going to be ever so important today. There are old ways that have worked. They may not work anymore. You might have to try a new door, try a new avenue. And that's the main message here, trying to find that nexus between tradition and evolution here. Okay, Monday looks great. We have the Ace of Swords coming through, representing a new idea that could now be, again, we were just talking about this, that can come into action or fruition. Use your voice. If there is an opportunity in front of you, seize the opportunity. And it's a day not to be passive. So if you want something, ask. If you need to see something happen, do it. If you have a lot of things coming through, write it down. If you have an idea, speak it. Don't let it just sit. This is not passive. I would actually say Ace of Cups is probably of all of them the most passive because it's about receiving. This is about initiating, turning the key in the ignition, one of these 2 keys that we saw here, taking one of those keys and activating it. And if that doesn't work, take the other key and try that, and then try another door. Keep trying. Because with an ace, you have a great opportunity of accomplishing whatever goal you're setting out to do. And people want to hear what you have to say, okay? Keep things brief, keep things affirmative. I was talking to a neighbor last night as we were walking dogs, and we talked about something that you know here on the channel because I talk about it a lot, but there's so much power in words and thoughts. So if you think something won't happen, probably won't. If someone tells you that you can't do something, you're going to have a harder time doing it. If you tell yourself it's possible, it will be. And I've been mentioning, like, this ear has finally fully healed. So September is when it began, and it took until April for it to heal. But my neighbor is a spiritual and energetic healer as well. And one day she just told me, she said, your ear's going to be fine. I said, I know it will. When you start to surround yourself with positivity, eventually things can start to shift. So I also cut someone out of my life who had a lot of doubt and negativity, and that also helped clear the energy, because sometimes people's negative thoughts and words can kind of clog the ear chakras, or if you're feeling mentally blocked, this is super appropriate for today. Sometimes it's other people's negativity because they carry it with them like a cloud. So think, even if you're not there yet, just think, I can't wait to get through this. I know it's going to happen. I know I'm going to get the job. I know I'm going to get out of this relationship. I know the money situation is going to improve. I know whatever your wish or dream is, just say, I know it's going to happen. I can't wait to see it happen. Maybe it's today, okay? And that kind of ace energy will help you connect to it. All right, on to Tuesday. We have a fabulous energy coming through with the sun, solar plexus energy. So this is a great day to have conversations with people because your power is coming through. This is connected to the inner child. Usually there's a little kid on this card, but this is also a very appropriate interpretation. It can also be love. But for the inner child, doing things that you love, having a little bit of fun, and not taking yourself so seriously is important. Love and relationships are blessed under the Sun card because you're basically like attracts like. So when you're in that higher energy of joy, laughter, just sort of like being neutral, other people can come into that and you kind of can connect on a higher level. Use your power, use your voice, set things in motion. This is a day to reclaim power. It's always been there, but with the Sun, it's blessed as well, okay? Beautiful energy, a great day to do anything. This is one of the best cards in the major arcana. It can be like Sun, Star, World, like chef's kiss, because there's nothing really bad about them. Reversals just show hesitation towards power, but like they're good cards. So Tuesday's the high point, and I'm looking at all the cards and it really remains the high point to me, okay? Highest number, highest energy. All right, in the middle of the week, this looks familiar. I just read this for a daily. This is a day to set things forward. So Knight of Pentacles, active and proactive, like I said in the daily, but also a chance to ask for something, put out a request, follow up on something. Hey, where are we at on this? The Knight is going to communicate, fight, and advocate for whatever is necessary. This is also a really great day to look at money and resources. And if something's been lagging, if you felt blocked, I feel like you're unblocked by Wednesday, because this card, of all of them in the spread right now, is the most active. He's normally on a horse. He's either en route to the horse or riding the horse right now. So it's not a question of if, just merely when will something start to move. Very productive day, very good energy. So far, I love the week, I have to say. There could be some new information, opportunities, or something coming into your life that requires attention. This is the day to act on it. And again, if someone else is dragging their heels, you can ring the doorbell virtually and say, hello, let's get this started, right? Okay, good day for business, suffice it to say. All right, now we're getting a little more scrutiny with respect to resources. On Thursday, you or someone around you may be asking or pushing you to kind of like, what was I going to say? Kind of pushing you to do something faster than it should be done, right? And if it is, if this is happening for you, it's important for you to simply push back and say, you know what? It's going to take time to do this right. If you want it done sooner, faster, etc., something has to give. And so hold people to account and make sure that, you know, they're not trying to get too much for too little. Seven of Pentacles is also a reminder if you have any healing going on in your body. I just mentioned an example for myself. It can take time. I am gobsmacked at how long it took for that to heal. Like 7 or 8 months. It's a long time. It's a long time. And some days I gave up hope a little bit, and then I would have to ground myself and say, no, keep healing yourself, keep doing the work. This will shift. You have to be patient. So that's a hard lesson in life, because we want it more like in 7 minutes, 7 hours, 7 days, 7 weeks, not 7 or 8 months. But sometimes it takes that long. Be patient with yourself. Anything worth doing, you want to do it right. And any time that you've been stretched to an extreme, it may take time to reset. Financially, this is true as well. In the States, we have something called FICO, which is just a credit score. So over time, it heals. If you've spent too much or extended yourself too much, that's an example. In your savings account, if you deplete it, you can repair it or replace it, but it takes time. So you have to give yourself time in resources and energy, your heart, when it comes to healing or grieving a loss. This card does show time, but he's doing the work and he's not rushing. And it's one of the few Seven of Pentacles where the person isn't sort of impatient. He's just saying, all right, I'm here to show up. I'm here to do the work, okay? All right. By the way, I saw someone mentioning that they had a glitch. Just refresh your browser. A lot of times that has to do with internet connection. Okay, let's take a look here at, we were just looking at Thursday. Let's take a look at Friday. All right, on Friday, we have a page coming through, communication, information, delivery of new news. There might be something that you receive in the mail or on your phone that's important that also requires action. Use your voice. If there's something that you need to say, say it, absolutely. This card also reminds us the power of listening, and too often with the pages, particularly Page of Swords, it's like, it may just be like, say what you need to say, do what you need to do, but it's also pay attention. So the passive sides of this card are also important. So not just doing, but observing, not just speaking, but listening. And if you do all four of those things on Friday, a lot can get done. You can learn a lot by listening to what people are complaining about, to listening to what they desire, to just listening, and make sure if something isn't constructive, ask them for a constructive element. Okay, thanks for letting me know you didn't like that. What would you do? How would you fix it? Do you want to help? They'll stop complaining in the future if you keep doing things like that, because you just say, well, I would love to partner up. This was something that would happen when I had a corporate job. Fantastic. It's great that you have an idea. We're now going to have you lead this charge. So you always want to have an idea if you're going to critique someone. And if they don't have a critique, like a positive way to deal with it, just say, well, let me know when you have some thoughts on how you'd like to see that addressed. I'll think about it. In the meantime, I'm going to finish this up. Like, you don't have to worry about it, because if they don't have a solution, it's just an observation. Take it all with a grain of salt. Great day to write things, send out emails, make an announcement. Page of Swords is a pretty good card overall, okay? Keep the conversation, keep the action going. Don't get stuck in one way, shape, or form of thinking, okay? Now let's take a look at next Saturday. Take a break, folks. Next Saturday, we have the Eight of Cups. We see someone taking a step back, getting perspective. Because if you don't do that, you get burned out. And if you don't do that, sometimes there's diminishing returns. Before making a really big decision, selling a house, getting married, having a child, adopting a dog, retiring, whatever, big life moments, pause, research, see if you feel the same tomorrow, next week, the week after that. Like, give yourself a little bit of time to make sure that it's not impulsive, but it's intuitive. And the Eight of Cups allows you to separate yourself from the environment and from the pressure of making the decision, so that you can see the pattern and decide if it's right for you, and decide if the time is right. And again, some of you have just been working too hard. Okay? Now, two of our favorite cards coming through a week from today. Thankfully, I'll be here next week to help us navigate. And thankfully, this is like 7 days into the future, so it doesn't have to come to be. It's kind of like if you've ever watched Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, like the movie, or read the book, but particularly the movie, there's usually great end scenes where he's pleading for an alternate reality without spoiling too much. The ghost of Christmas future is like the specter of death. And he really is like, I'm not ready for this path, and I don't like the patterns that I've seen. Are they shadows of what may be, or are they kind of like carved into stone? This is not carved into stone. It never is. We read so that we can be informed, like in real life, and we read cards so that we can make a better choice. So let's make some better choices, because I don't love the cards here. All right, Ten of Swords, burnout, sometimes a feeling of failure, like if I don't do this, I'm going to fail, or I didn't do this, therefore I don't deserve it. Listen, there is no failure. There are just lessons that are hard, and if you learn and grow from them, you don't have to repeat them. So this Ten of Swords is reminding you not to be so hard on yourself. In the typical card, there's the sun rising in the background, which represents a dawn of a new day. This is a full stop, a period at the end of a sentence. It only goes up from the Ten of Swords. So if something happens and you have clarity on something, so be it. You absolutely know what you don't want, which is the blessing of this card. In the body, it's saying pay attention. I just got a chiropractic adjustment yesterday. Pay attention to your bones and how you're feeling, and if you need to talk to a doctor, an osteopath, or a surgeon, or a chiropractor, or whatever hurts, talk to someone about that and deal with that, and don't burn yourself out. The card right before it can help you avoid this. Taking a break helps you from going into the energy of the Ten of Swords. Okay. Underneath the Ten of Swords, we had El Diablo, the devil, coming through. So the devil's interesting because it's the king of limited thoughts. So the opposite of the king of wishful thinking, which is another good 80s song from Pretty Woman, I think. But anyway, this is saying, I can't, therefore I won't. And you remember how you had two keys? It's the equivalent of just tossing the keys out the window. It's never going to happen. How do you know? How do you know if you don't try? So the devil loves you to limit yourself. It's a person in your life that can't give you what you want, but you might settle for them. It's not worth it. It's a job that is kind of dead end, but there's a lack of desire to search something else. Whatever it is, it's limited, it's dead end. And so I'm viewing it, especially with the Ten of Swords, as something that you deserve far better than, okay? So you don't have to accept this. This is also intimidation, particularly the way this one's illustrated. We're just seeing the goat here. So someone may try to come in and assert their power, influence, or just get you scared. That's also intimidation is a tool of the devil. Ignorance is a tool of the devil. The less you know, the more powerful the devil is. So fear, intimidation, ignorance, desire, temptation, and impulsive energy, which is why I was kind of telling you to take a break and take a step back, because you will see the patterns of this and say, I don't think so. Not today, Satan. Not ever. Okay? So that's basically it. The little scarab beetle in the center of the inverted pentagram is also a reminder that you can put this to rest, because that's a rebirth symbol. So this is an old karmic cycle for some of you of like limitations or limited thoughts. So let's put it to rest. Okay? It was a fantastic week, and there was a lot to unpack at the end of it. So let's not go there, okay? Let's not go there. We don't need to. I feel like as long as you engage with some of the highlights of this week, you'll be fine. And let's look at the highlights. The two strongest cards today and Tuesday. Amazing stuff. I really feel like Monday and Wednesday are also really good. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, actually. So it's almost like the odd days in the week. There's a lot going on. And then just cool it down a little bit. Do a lot less on the weekend. And the devil is interesting because this is your challenging day, Sunday. It always tells on itself. If you've noticed, like it will reveal its hand, or it's like boastful. And I use it because I think the devil can take any shape or form. So it always reveals itself, and it's just a matter of being attentive and seeing it and then just saying, nah, I'm not going to do this. There's always a voice of reason in your head. Listen to that voice of reason. All right. Let's look at the elemental breakdown. We'll go into fire, earth, air, and water and see what's in store. I may stick with this deck because I'm digging the imagery on it. Okay. Fire, earth, air, water. Okay. We'll begin with fire, who made an appearance in my dreams this week. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, this kind of tracks because it felt like your energy's front and center. Ace of Pentacles, a doorway could be opening up to you. You might be opening that door with what? One of the keys that we talked about today. And a simple thought, what if? A simple request, I'd like this. A simple action or movement towards that could reveal a path, okay? The Ace of Pentacles is also like planting a seed, and we see the Easter lily, and we also see a rose here. It takes time for both of these to bloom. So the rose also requires maintenance, a lot of work. My mom used to like growing them, and you had to really tend to them, fertilize them, get the aphids off of them, prune them. It was a lot, but they are beautiful and they smell lovely. So put in the work. That's basically it. So this Seven of Pentacles that I showed you, which I'm trying to get off the table, he's been gardening. This is your financial gardener and your resource gardener. And this is the fruit of that labor. He's got a seed or a fruit coming through from all of that. It will be fruitful, whatever you decide to put your time and energy into. If you have an idea, put it out there. If you want something or need something, ask. If something's offered to you, say thank you, yes. And then keep stepping towards this beautiful doorway in front of the ace. This is one of the most beautiful ones. I think this deck is from like the 70s, and I love the art style from it. It was my second or third deck that I got back in the day, just because I kind of vibe with these images. Of course, get your hands on your money this week and understand budgets, resources, and timelines as well. But great energy, fire. I'm not surprised. You should have a good week. Okay, moving on from fire to earth. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You might be struggling with some of the limiting thoughts that we talked about here. So we have a very different Nine of Swords. Normally we see the person in bed with all the swords above them. But this is actually what happens if you don't release some of the energy of the Nine of Swords. So it's just a thought that holds you back. I can't, I won't, I'll never. I'm not going to even add after that because I don't want to create that. So sorry, I just saw the comeback and I'm thinking of Valerie's. I don't want to see that. You don't need to create it. You don't need to experience it. Let it go. And this is somewhere where you can reprogram your mind and say, I'm not afraid of this. I'm going to see what's possible. One of the things that you can do to transmute this, because Nine of Swords is also very connected to fear, is get informed and get inspired. And then ask for some other people's advice on how they've dealt with the challenges that are in front of you. I'm going to pull the traditional one while we're talking, but sleep and fatigue can often be symptoms of the Nine of Swords because we start taking our stress with us to bed, right? So here we go. So this is stress from work, stress from your family or personal relationships, or just fears of like what tomorrow might bring. So one way that you can counteract this is by thinking to yourself, that's the worst case scenario. There are two sides to every coin. What if, before I give into this, what's the inverse of this? What's the positive outcome? What if I can get there, or at least meet somewhere in the middle where it's not like Chicken Little and the sky is falling, or, the best day ever? Because most days are somewhere in between. So you're just giving it too much thought. Reprogram. Okay, rebooting. The reason I use that 3-finger salute, Control-Alt-Delete from the, I don't even think most computers need that anymore. They have like power buttons and other ways to reset. But it's because you can just change the mental channel. So this would be a great time to read a book, listen to a podcast, watch a fun movie that brings great energy to you, something that shifts the focus. Talk to a friend that you know has the capacity to help you change your energy, because you're just fixated too much, and it hinders you by creating stagnation. Okay? Unshackle yourself and work on stress release and relief. So I think I've been talking openly about this, but one thing that I do after every reading now is I will get on the treadmill, then I do some workouts, and I walk the dog. I've been amping up my physical activity because it actually helps me reset my energy, and helps me with blood pressure and everything else, which is in a great place right now. But exercise is important to recharge, to get the endorphins going. So connect with that, and it will help you as well. Anything that you can do to reset. Took a little more time on Earth because that's the only challenging card in the spread. You've got this, Earth, okay? Moving on to Air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Partnership, love. I just did the Libra reading, actually, and this is connected to that, but all air signs this week have the ability to partner up well with others. And because air fires or kind of fuels fire, you could be working with someone, because I saw the element of fire, that will help you get further along in a goal or dream. So the power of two, together you're stronger than just doing this all on your own. So there you go. This is a great time to connect with others. Yes, you can date. Yes, you can go deeper in a relationship. Yes, you can network for work. And also you can meet new people. It'll just be easier to connect. This is also persuasive. So if there's something that you need to get out into the world and have people connect with, they're more apt to want to be a part of it. So your leadership skills are blessed by the Two of Cups and elevated. So get out there and mix, mingle, network, have some fun, put some energy into dating and social spheres. It's going to be worth it. And there might also just be someone that's interested in you. If you're job seeking, job seekers out there, great week to job seek. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you've got it this week. It feels pretty good. If you're a little bit shy, don't be. You really have the capacity to bring things to the next level. Have fun. Keep me posted in the comments. Let me know if you do connect with anybody new. Okay, moving on to the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You're ready to move forward. So I sometimes like to think of wands as batons in a relay race. And when we have pages and knights, they take that to the next person or to the next level. So Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, this week you might be ready to hand off something. I have done everything on this, send. Or I have an idea, what do you think? It's like a game and you're passing the baton, or you're passing the ball, and you're giving it to the next player that you trust, just like you would in a sport. I'm not a big sports fanatic, but I know that there are certain players that they've got this. If I send it to them, they're going to do it. Okay? Sorry. So pick your connection well, and then also don't be afraid to demonstrate, because where Knight of Swords is more communicative, Knight of Wands is more demonstrative. Let me show you why. Let me show you how. Wait a second. I have an example here. And actions and pictures speak louder than words sometimes. And this is a week where prototyping, demonstrating, showing, and embodying, and that last piece is the most important piece. If you embody what it is that you want, people will already believe it, see it, and say, yeah, okay, you've got this. If you don't embody it, how am I going to believe that it's possible? So walk the walk and talk the talk. But the walking the walk is this card, okay? So, by the way, in relationships, things could be sort of skyrocketing a little bit, because this is showing a lot of passion, a lot of emotion, and it could be a little overwhelming, but it could also be really great, okay? Get out there and fight for what you want. I think he has a little, it looked like a dragon, but it's not. It's a phoenix kind of figure, or a griffin or something on his head. But get those ideas out there. It feels like you might be sitting on something longer than you need to, okay? Pretty good week overall, I have to say. All right, can't believe it. We're already at special topic moment. So I'm going to take a quick look at chat. While I'm doing that, by the way, we're going to check in on Apollo again, because he's so peaceful. I'm not going to even pet him because he's super relaxed. A reminder again to subscribe if you enjoy this. You can also go to my website and find out more information about me, like how to follow me on social media. You can also, if you want to, find out more about readings, giving back through PayPal, or here on YouTube, you can help us meet our goal for today and give a super sticker, super chat. Okay, now let's go into the special topic today. Control Alt to Lead, how to reset the mental program. So now I want to see, where are you currently feeling blocked? So let me see what some of you have written on that one. Feel free to add into that a little bit, and I'll periodically look at it. So people looking for purpose, and that's about it. No one really added to that. So I'm going to go back to the live chat, and I think I'm just going to end that one because no one's using that. So end the Q&A. All right. What I'm going to do is, I think, pull a traditional spread, and then we may not do the traditional health, wealth, love, and destiny. We might go into just blockages, and that feels right for today. So I'm going to do the traditional spread, and I'll see how we feel, and if there's people that want me to do something different, just let me know. But let me select a deck first, and let's just see where you're at. And then I'm going to probably pull the cards aside, and we'll look at major areas of your life rather than the health, wealth, love, and destiny. It may be those, it may be more than those, but I'm going to do something different today because we're changing the program. But let me first select a deck. I actually already know which one I want to use. I need to open my window a little bit more because it is hot in here. Okay. Cannot wait to have air conditioning again. It gets very humid, especially today. It rained this morning. So, all right. If you just tuned in, we're looking at a special topic for the week ahead, how to get unblocked. So I'll be looking for blockages as we do this reading. This is for everybody. Everything that you see today will be available on replay. Make sure to subscribe so you can chat with us, so you can let me know that this video made a difference. All right. Let's see what's coming through. Yeah, for the people asking about the AC, it's not going to get repaired. I'm going to move to a different unit. There's too much problems with it. Like, they have to take it out, refurbish it, completely replace the encasing, waterproof it, take up the flooring. There was a lot of damage. I caught it ahead of time, and there's no mold in here, but there is water damage. So it's just, I have to relocate. But it'll just be down the hall. We won't have a view like this anymore, but that doesn't matter. We need safety. That's all that matters. Okay. Thank you for asking, though. On to the catalyst. All right. For today, we have, interesting, soul time. Let's look at this in the upright position. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. That's cool. I like to break this up because there's a lot here. So we have to entertain the possibility that something better can come through, something different can come through. Because, as I said, one of the limiting thoughts and the energies of the devil, which is like a week from today, if we don't change it, is limitations. So that's one thing. One that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Okay, so we are timeless, ageless, deathless on a soul level. We've lived many lives. We live this life once. That means that anything that has happened to us, chances are that we've actually experienced something like it or we've seen something like it in the past. So if we lean into the wisdom, there's a compass somewhere within us that can help us. We've done that before. We know where it goes. Let's not do that. Let's try this. That's why it's coming through again. This week, the block is karmic, and the experience is within your soul. If you give yourself soul time, which is meditation, if you give yourself time for meditation, you can ask for a new reality. I don't like this. What else can I do? Also, if somebody tells you something that doesn't sit well with you, that's your intuition saying they don't see the full picture, right? So don't neglect your soul. That's why this card was reversed. Instead, embrace the inner knowledge and wisdom that has always been there, always will be there, but sometimes gets swept underneath the rug, okay? All right. Oh, so someone asked about the Q&A here. Oh, I didn't end it. Okay, ended it now. There we go. So there we go. Thanks, Dakota. I appreciate that. Okay, so anyway, for the Q&A, don't worry. We'll just do some live chat in a moment when I take a look at the blocks. But anyway, it is very, very important for us to make time for the meditation, make time for ourselves, and also trust in your own instincts. Because I've learned this even with spiritual practitioners, peers. I've often been told things where I'm like, I don't think that's the full picture. I think that's maybe a piece of them getting in the way. So whether it's your friend, your family member, someone that you trust, a counselor, there could also be a little shard of them getting in the way of your sort of truth. So just trust yourself this week. All right? Now let's look at the cards here. Gosh, there's a lot of synchronicities. We have the Hierophant at the center. We have the Ten of Swords here. Fascinating stuff. Hierophant now in the reverse position. So the Hierophant in the reverse position is saying there is more than one way to sort this out, to get it done. And as I mentioned before, someone in your life may think that it's only accomplishable, I think that's a word, it's only possible if you do it one way, and that's not true. There are things that have opened up to us in careers and in our lives that just weren't available to our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. And so you're being encouraged to go counter to tradition. This is a super traditional card, and you're asked to try something different and go in a different direction. So don't be afraid to do just that, okay? The other thing that you can focus on right now is finding a different way to get organized or a different path. So research. There might be something easier, better, or more efficient. Rinsing and repeating isn't always good. This can also represent a gatekeeper in your life, and approval, like a rubber stamp approval at a job or like a document needs to go through somebody. And annoying though it may be, sometimes we have to do that, okay? Knight of Cups. So this Knight of Cups is moving through some rapids, some waters. I see some other people had rainy weather like we did today. It's clearing up, but you can see the dramatic clouds behind me. This too shall pass is what I get with this card, even though it's it's crossing, so it's neither upright or reversed. It's just saying take a moment and tune into your emotions, learn from them, but don't allow yourself to be beholden to them. In other words, controlled by them. I like that he has what looks like an eagle that's coming through. So this is a great day to put yourself out there. because I look at the eagle and I think of getting a bird's eye view and also kind of like taking flight. Put yourself out there and follow your passion. Take your passion and make it happen. Was that What a Feeling from Flashdance? Sometimes you're the best person to make it happen. And if no one else will do it, maybe you're going to do something entrepreneurial, like release something, a song, a book, a project on your own, because it matters enough that it has to be just right. I was listening to an interview that Tori Amos did. She's coming out with a new album, but one of my favorite albums, her second one, because her first group kind of failed. Why Can't Tori Read? She did something called Little Earthquakes, and she wanted to get dropped by her label, but they didn't want to drop her. So she just made the album she wanted to make, and it's probably one of her best because it's not commercially viable, but it did become commercially viable. So sometimes when we do what we want to do, it's exactly what we need to do, even if it isn't what people expect of us. At the time, her music's changed over the years, but it was very piano driven. She's like classically trained. So all of her old songs, like from the first 3 albums, it's like super classical, but like pop classical. So it's something you don't hear a lot. And sometimes your vision, your voice, your sound, you have to kind of be true to that. And when you try to make it something that it isn't, it flops. So be authentic and be passionate enough about yourself to fail. Because you feel good about it. So follow your passion and it could lead you exactly where you need to be, right? One of her key songs is Silent All These Years, and it is about finding your voice. So some of you might be getting in touch with your emotions, finding your voice, and it's time to not be silent anymore. All right, we have in the deep past here 5 of Wands. Raising and rising up above conflict. And we see also here just a lack of communication, collaboration, and cooperation. So with this, what I love about Wands is you can subtract and it's more powerful. Something I've learned over years of working. So if you just took one person out of this spread, it would be 4 of Wands, partnership. Sometimes there's just one person that doesn't want to do it. So if you have the ability to say, hey, why don't you focus on this and then we'll deal with this, break out of the bigger groups, or add in 6 of Wands, and it would be leadership. This current thing isn't working. If you're in a relationship, too much fighting, too much kind of like energy of kind of like butting heads, right, and horns. In sort of other situations in your life, it's just duplicative energy. Nothing's getting done, like a hamster wheel. So one of the one of the areas where you can get unstuck or unblocked is to basically just step back from this. You can do better, right? Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, at some point, if you just step back and watch these other people flail around a little bit, you can get something else done. It's not worth competing. It's not worth all of that wasted time and energy. Okay? All right. So now let's take a look at what's coming through in the recent past. We have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords, hello, we got this week. So what we also see is someone cutting through the nonsense, cutting through the web. And it may be hard to do this, but it's so worth it. I also get like an Excalibur vibe with this Ace of Swords too, which is, it's just someone needs to take up the sword and say, I can do this. I want this. Let's go. And if you do it, you're going to be surprised, and you can cut through some of the old ways of thinking and doing things. But there is something, it's like cobwebs here, these ropes. You may have to cut through some old stuff. Clean up your energy, clean up what's around you, create as good of an ending as you can to something, because this can come on the heels of an ending. So a clean start and a clean break and a clean ending. All of those are part of this. Say yes if you want to, say no if you don't, communicate your ideas, step into it. And again, we've been saying walk the walk. This one's about talking the talk as well. Make sure that you are staying positive and, kind of like following through on everything. All right, let me take a quick drink and we're going to talk about the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Knight of Pentacles, or Knight of Coins in this deck. I like that there's an ox or a bull on this card. It's showing a bullish, positive and affirmative view of the future. The present's a mess, right? When we look at financial markets, and because this is a card of finance, it's up and down every day because of what people say, people do, and the messiness in the world right now. So we have to look beyond now. You have to be looking strategically 2 or 3 years from now. Because in all likelihood, if things continue, there's going to be adjustments and changes. I'm not going to say anything else, but like things they could plateau for a while. So we have to look beyond that. And I think back to an example. He was far from perfect, but he was an innovator. Steve Jobs. He came into Apple Computer when, he helped co-found it. And then when it was on the brink of going away, he had founded another company that was bought out, and then he became the CEO again. And then through a recession, they innovated. They came up with all of their best products during the great recession of the early aughts, like 2006, 7, 8. So that's when you were seeing things like the iPhone, the iPad, and they were starting new things. They haven't been doing a lot of that lately, but that was what was cool. You had to innovate through the changes in the market and in time, and that's what established them. And they're still riding that sort of momentum, and they did it in a downturn. So the bullish Knight of Pentacles is going to say, I'm going to do the best that I can to navigate through this, and I believe in myself, and I believe in this vision, and I'm going to make it happen. So the bull is really what's bringing that forth here. But it's also planting seeds that will grow. There's a Knight of Pentacles in the Lightseers deck where you can see all of the seeds behind him that he's planted, and he's kind of, I'll see if I can find it really quick. So it's not about short-term gains. It's about long-term growth and long-term potential. So look beyond the moment, because the moment can be depressing. That's how I get by. I have to I've lived long enough that I know that things ebb and flow. There are blocks, there are rises, there are falls, but things eventually pan out. This is the card that I thought about. So he's actually walking a path of success that had been a long time created and built. He just kept investing and kept working. And now he can move in that direction. For those that I've seen comments before where people are like, why don't you just read with one deck, or why do you compare it to others? Because it provides context. Because it's like, why would you only speak one language when you can speak more than one language? I like different decks because they bring different interpretations, and these 2 decks are examples of that. And I like to compare and contrast for that reason. So stay bullish, plant the seeds. Tomorrow is going to be better than today, and it's about forward vision, okay? In this period of time, get a handle on your finances. I keep saying it, so rinse and repeat. Talk about things that you need to. And if you don't understand something, it's also a great time to invest in yourself and learn. All right? Very good. Okay, let's look at near future here. The moon in reverse. Okay, so with this one, we see her walking over the bridge. The bridge over the water can represent finding her way through a difficult situation. She's nearly through, but not quite. So the interesting thing with any sort of emotions, like we can get brought back through nostalgia. Let's say like a really good emotion. It can kind of bring back a bittersweet memory because maybe someone in your life is gone and you're like, oh, gosh, that was a good time. Or when things like right now, they're kind of challenging. You're like, gosh, it was so much easier in the early 2000s or the 90s or the 80s, and you want to kind of like live in that period. So nostalgia has its time and place, but we have to keep walking this path as well. And so how can you honor the memories of the past and maybe find a way to create something similar in the present or something better? Because whenever I think like, oh, the good old days or those were the best, no, the best could be yet to come. Always leave room for that. Something amazing could happen. Reminds me of 2 lines. One is from 2010, actually, but it was from the 2001 A Space Odyssey, but it didn't make it in the movie. It's in the novelization. But the main character, Dave, I can't remember his full name, but he said, after becoming a star being, something wonderful. Actually, my God, it's full of stars. That was actually 2001. So it's 2010, A Space Odyssey, or the Journey Home. And he keeps telling everybody something wonderful is going to happen. I think that's a really great way to manifest. And a medium that I like, Kim Russo, she put it in her story like a couple years ago. She said, something amazing is going to happen. I don't know what yet, but it's going to. And this is how you manifest. So let's imagine something wonderful, something amazing is on the precipice of emerging, and put it on your mirror when you're brushing your teeth, or on your fridge, or on your door. So you keep thinking something wonderful, something amazing, something spectacular. It's just about to happen. Maybe today is the day. That can help you get through some of the moodiness of the moon. All right, this is also about just being truthful. Say the truth, or it's going to come back to haunt you. And if others aren't being truthful or aren't being accountable, call it out and then recognize the pattern and release it. Normally we have a wolf and a dog. I think we have, are they little raccoons on this? So be mindful of the environment. That's actually what I get more of on this card, because the animals can also represent something sneaking up or whatever. So pay attention to security. So passwords, security in your home, also looking at things like insurance and people around you if you trust them. Trust is a big part of this card. Anywhere you need to firm up that security, or, make sure that you trust someone. If you don't, kind of like create a clean break, please do that. Okay? All right. Now let's take a look at the 10 of Swords. Okay. Good old times with the 10 of Swords. So this one, it was a little graphic, and I have to, if you wonder why I put stickies on stuff, it's because if I don't, YouTube won't allow me to, like, it'll block it or won't release it to people. So I have to edit the cards. Otherwise I couldn't use the decks. And I'm like, I'd rather use the decks and put some stickies on. I can talk around it. So in this version of it, the person is reaching to get over the boat and someone cuts off the fingers. It's like super graphic. So it's maybe better that we don't see that. There may be someone that's trying to be spiteful. That's kind of what I get with this. And so they'll say or do something out of spite or out of jealousy, and the desired result is to deflate you. An insult or an action that deflates you. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. That's this 10 of Swords. Very different than the traditional one. And there may be someone, we see it in the world now, they benefited from protections and opportunities, and they're actively shutting them down. We're seeing a lot of this happen now, and I don't understand it. Because if people were able to benefit from certain things, why would you shut doors on other people? I don't know what it is, but we don't want to allow that. That's when you speak up, say no, and the only thing that you can do then is to gather together and say, no, you're the one that needs to go, you're the one that needs to stop. And people are afraid of progress. And that's what I get with this 10 of Swords. It's a little spiteful, it's a little bit poke the bear, and it's a lot like, I'm afraid of progress, so I'm just going to shut it down. I'm going to create a distraction. Don't get distracted. Get inspired and get educated, and also get the group around you, because you don't have to do this alone. This is one person that's trying to intimidate through pain and fear and intimidation. And we're not going to have that. Now, this is also in your energy, but I feel like it's not you, it's someone around you. Now, as a part of your body, this can just be being overworked, being burnt out, and also just feeling less than because of someone like that. So it is resolvable. Just making up words here. It's something that you can fix, but something needs to go in the environment. And that's why this Ace of Swords is cutting through all of this old stuff. Okay? Okay. What's going on in your environment? Well, it's good. We have the King of Pentacles coming through in the environment. And King of Pentacles, green thumb. Anything can grow, anything can happen. This is also kind of connected to some world mythologies where the earth itself is supposed to be like a turtle or whatever. But anyway, only thing that I'm getting from this card is you don't have to do everything. Because we see like he's carrying the weight of the world on his back, this turtle. So you don't have to do that as the King of Pentacles. You can work with others. You can focus on what you want to do, but you don't have to do everything. Let people come to you for advice. Focus on doing what you need to do. You can help the world at large, but you have to have enough left at the end of the day for yourself as well. If there's any area in your life where growth has been inhibited, we see like attracts like. So this could be someone coming into your life, but it's also reflecting you. So the environment is both you and what you're attracting. therefore a reflection of yourself. So you have what it takes. You have what it takes to make this happen. Okay? All right. Taking a look here at hopes, fears, and opportunities. A chance to level up. We have a marriage here in this particular card. This can represent love, friendship, family, community, and just really good times like a party. And so one thing that you can and should do is grow those networks in your life where it's like chosen family, good friends, good vibes. And as I'm talking about this, I can feel my crown chakra kind of light up. And these are people that get you exactly the way you are, and you don't have to change to make them happy. There could also be an expansion happening. This could be like a birth of a child, a marriage, or a new connection coming into your life. So when I was talking about something amazing, yeah, I see it here on the horizon. And it may not just be you. It's you and someone that you love, or someone else coming into your life. There's more than one person involved with this good news, which is fun. Okay? In the outcome here, we have Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands in the reverse position. The energy of fire, which is connected to today's element and what really wanted to present itself. So with this in the reverse position, some of you may be very, very successful and productive because that is the Eight of Wands, but the thrill may be lackluster, or the thrill may be gone. So slow down long enough to get either inspired again and connected to what the passion and the purpose is, or find other things in your life. Sometimes we live to work, sometimes we work to live. So if you're working to live, then make sure that there's joyful activities, passionate opportunities in your life that can help rekindle the flame here. And otherwise, things are going to really move quickly this week. This is still a card connected to people and communities, because all those wands get thrown into the air by someone. So don't forget to slow down and say thanks to the people around you. Make sure that you aren't getting lost in the shuffle, and use your voice, speak up. There's a chance here to be a better team with the Eight of Wands too. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a very productive week for everybody. So things are starting to move, okay? All right. So let's now think about how we want to expand this. First, let me see how you all are feeling. Most of you are engaged. Oh, wow, it's perfectly split. We have 27% engaged, 27% inspired, 27% exhausted, and the rest are overwhelmed. So, all right, that didn't yield many results. But what I'd like to do now is reset the cards. We're doing something different today because we can, and because I feel like doing it. And instead of health, wealth, love, and destiny, we're going to look at parts of your life where you might be blocked. So let me select a different deck for this. While I'm doing that, a reminder that you can like and subscribe, and you can also give back through a super sticker or super chat if you're watching live. We already met our goal, so thank you, by the way, to everybody for helping with that. All right, let me see what Spirit wants us to do. Okay, so I'd like to just pull 3 cards and see like the energy of progress and see if a block presents itself. So I can see what you are doing coming into this reading, where you're at, and what's in store. Okay, so right off the bat here, we have 3 of Swords energy coming through in the past. So for some of you, one of the blocks is just general happiness, because the 3 of Swords can represent a period where it's like, I have been struggling for a few weeks or a few months and I haven't been able to get through this. So I'm getting an emotional block, sadness, depression, or frustration. The roses have thorns, but they also come through with blooms. And I don't remember which podcast I was listening to. I think it might be these, maybe it was the sister. So there's these women on TikTok, nuns, sisters, and it's like, and sister, you're very good at that. They're very positive. It doesn't matter what religion you are. They're just like a delight to listen to, because I'm just more like cosmically spiritual, but I get a kick out of listening to these nuns. And I think one of the things that one of them might have said, is that sadness can help us. It's like we can't live solely in joy. That sadness is contextual. And I've said this before. It gives you context to appreciate other things. Let me shut the window because we can hear that it's silent. And then I'll open it up because it's hot in here. So sadness is a blessing and can be a blessing because it helps us understand what matters most to us. I don't want this. This doesn't feel good. But then when something great happens, we can say, oh, wow, this really feels right. And I'm so happy that I'm in this moment now. So it's nice to be able to know that this won't last forever and that you're on the precipice of appreciating something good in the future. Sadness is a teacher, and it gives us that background that when you get something good in your life, you don't regret it. You're not going to sort of like take it for granted. So if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're disappointed, thank the emotion. It sounds crazy, but thank the emotion of sadness. Thank you for coming through and showing me that this isn't good enough, that I don't want this, that I don't need to be here. But before I rush on to the next energy or the next opportunity, I'd like to let you go and just say thank you. Thank you for teaching me. And now guides, ascended masters, higher self, angels, show me how I can transmute this and get into something better. Help me get through this. And when I get into it, help me appreciate and not forget the moment. Not forget the scar. Scars are good because they remind us of what we have been through. It's interesting that we're in a time now where like gray hair, wrinkles, aging is not appreciated like it was in the past as like wisdom and survival, because you earn those marks. But now we try to forever freeze ourselves at like 29 or I don't know, 39 or something. That doesn't show progress. I get it. Sometimes we have to do it because you're at different industries, but like I wish for all of us it wasn't such a big deal, because it shouldn't have to be, right? So the pain, the scars, the wrinkles, the battle scars in your life, they are all there to help you appreciate the better days ahead, okay? You are already sitting more in your power now because of the situation. We have the Emperor coming through saying, look at how much I have grown. Look at how much wiser I am because I experienced that heartache, because I experienced that terrible breakup, or that experience that I just wish I didn't have to go through. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, but I now need to use the wisdom. And that's the challenge with the Emperor, right? So that's why, like, traditionally, not so much anymore, but a lot of times leaders have served in a war because then they know what's involved and they'll be less likely to go to war because it's a big deal. So you have to have the battle scars. You have to have the experience. And we're kind of like, we forgot about that. And we're just bringing now sometimes it's just people that are popular, but you really need experience in a position of power, because if you don't, you just don't have the context. So pain is wisdom. Wisdom can help you get to better days ahead. We have 9 of Cups in the reverse position. You have to believe that it can happen. I mentioned this. I had to keep the faith. I kept going to an ENT where I was like, that's what I said. I know that one day this is going to heal. Let's just keep working on this. And she was great. And we kept trying different things. So you have to keep believing that you can heal to the fullest of your capacity. If not 100%, 99.999 repeating, right? Get as close to that as possible and keep believing in yourself. Don't go to extremes. This is the caution for the future. Not allowing one great moment or one not so great moment to overly inform your decision. So it's the average over time. It's the big picture. The 8 of Cups energy from back in the, I think it was Saturday when I was doing the 7-day forecast. Sometimes I can remember the cards and where they fell, but because it came before the devil and the 10 of Swords. So get perspective on things so that you don't overdo things. Reading cards is a great way to get better memory. So oftentimes I'm surprised that I can remember the spreads in a session. I'm like, oh, it was here, it was there, it was in this position. So anyway, you've got this, and whatever you're going through, it's going to help you navigate. And in the future, you'll be really, really happy when you have better money, better health, better friends, better situations, because you'll think, I remember the flip side of this, okay? That was pretty powerful. All right, I'd like to look, I'm going to switch to a different deck for this one. I'd like to look at money and success, because I feel like that's a universal area of blockage. And I think they're kind of all together. Money, job, success, work. Like, let's just look at that general energy. But we'll start with money first. Actually, I'm going to limit it so that, because this then can help anybody at any phase of life. Money, worth, abundance. What's going on with all of this, past, present, future? Okay, so past energy is kind of interesting. Some of you may have been focusing more on other people's happiness and other people's success, wealth, and abundance. And, there's a time and a place for that. But the reminder in this is that you matter too. And sometimes we forget that we matter too. So leaning out of doing everything for everyone else, focusing more on receiving. It's okay to ask for help. I could use some of your time, energy, or support on this. It's okay to have someone come in and say, I'd like to help you. Is that okay? So receptivity to opportunities in abundance. Being open to receive. Okay. In this moment in time, my favorite justice card, because it's never reversed. It's just the intention of it. So when justice is reversed, she's still there. She's still looking at things. This is how I read the cards. I'm just looking at, I imagine that there's always this person, but I'm looking at either the shadow energy or the more assertive energy. So a justice reversed is very assertive. She's coming through and saying, there's an inequity, there's an imbalance, there's an injustice. I don't like it. I want to change it. I need to speak up. So she may say no to someone. She may fight for something. She may get informed and then say, this is what I want. This is what I need. I'm doing that with this situation. Like in my apartment, I have to keep pushing. It's not right yet. When is this going to be done? So you have to get loud. She's taking the sword that's oftentimes symbolic and using it, communicating, cutting, revising, pushing things back. It's a very active card when it's reversed. Upright, it's like everything's good. Everything's balanced. Justice has two sides. And she's fighting for what matters here. So you're fighting for your equity. Like we see inequity right now, unfortunately, and I'm sure it's probably across many countries, but especially in the United States, gender inequity. Women still, they're starting to get paid more, but they still don't get paid as much as male counterparts, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous and unfair. So fight for what you're worth. And we see this, you can even see it in movies, like actresses still have to fight to get the same money as male actors. And it is stupid. We see age inequity, which is also ludicrous. So if you have more experience, you shouldn't have to worry about the stability of your job. I mean, up until a certain point, like there is a reason 70s and 80s where retirement age comes in just so that, because we can see that in world leaders right now, they are having trouble thinking and speaking. But like, let's just imagine you're in the 50s, 60s, even like 70s and still at the top of your game. You shouldn't be discriminated against because of age at all. I think you hit your stride when you become 50. And 50, 60, 70, magical time because you can do so much and you're so wise. So people that don't look at that wisdom, silly. Because we have age bias, gender bias. And then also like there's so many other things that could be coming through, sexual orientation, sometimes even just place of origin. Like there's so many biases and prejudices. Lady Justice is coming through and saying, we have to stop this. It doesn't work anymore. The system's broken. So there is a time when you might want to fight. And this is a legal card. So if you have to fight and you have a case, fight for it. Now, for everyone else, it's balancing your budget. Just making sure that what you're putting out each month is less than what you're taking in. So we need to make sure that you have a surplus of income and revenue. Or if you're retired, that the investments are providing enough of a blanket that you're going to have enough for the rest of your days on the planet. Okay? So we're just looking at balance, a balanced budget. Okay. Why is someone confused? Someone said they're confused. Hopefully they're not confused. I think this is all pretty clear. We're looking at fighting for equity, right? And inclusion, absolutely. So ageism, racism, things like xenophobia, like there's so many different isms and obias. We want them all out of the picture. And it does enter into money. because people get prejudiced because of that. And this is about fighting for your worth. Okay. We see a happy outcome in the future here with the King of Cups. And we see a healing element here, or symbol, with the starfish. So the best is yet to come. And when you have to sever ties from something or someone because you don't get what you're valued or worth, usually the next opportunity is so much better. So don't be afraid to explore new horizons. Also, what I love about this is he's not getting emotional. He's using his emotions to inform his decision. He's using his passion to get other people connected to his story, but he's not emotional. And that's something that, by the way, also kind of like gets thrown out there, like, don't get angry. Don't necessarily even get even, but like get the support and the guidance that you need. That is going to help you. Your happiness awaits you, is what I see here. All right, let me just pull one card for how you can find better balance in this process. Get creative. High Priestess in reverse. You probably already know something that you need to release in your life. You also may know of some sort of, I feel like you might be sitting on an idea or a path, and you've rejected it because you thought, I can't do it. You can do it. And there may be a lot to that path. So give it a little bit more time, put a little bit more creativity into it. The High Priestess is there to help you in this, okay? All right. How about a creative block or a mental block? Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Some of you, for the creative blocks out there, you've done something great in the past. Maybe there's been acclaim, success, or just a general feeling like you can always do this. It very much is just in the head right now. There's this feeling that I can't do it, or what if it's not as good as, right? And you're creating all of these ladders to the swords. What if you're not going to rinse and repeat, but try something completely different? Don't try to do what you did before. I think that, speaking of musicians, I like musicians that take risks in their albums and they're not rinse and repeat. Early Madonna was a great example of that. I mean, she's still doing great stuff, but especially the early stuff. Every album, felt like she would work with different producers, change her look, change her sound, change everything. So when you look at, like, if you go back to like a Prayer and Bedtime Stories or Ray of Light, and compare all of these together, they're like radically different albums, radically different. And she looks different and she sounds different, and they're all really, really good. So it's not about repeating, it's about evolving. And I feel like that evolution can help you. Or picking the best of what you've done before and elevating it. Lady Gaga's Mayhem is one of her best. And she also takes risks and tries a lot of different things. So take risks, try new things, evolve, don't repeat. And I think that will help you through it because the work has already been done. The wisdom is already there, right? And then partner up. I mentioned producers, examples of great producers. And another great example of this is, I mentioned Zara Larsson. She worked with Pink Pantheress on that remix of Stateside, and it elevated both of them. A producer is amazing, and they can do great things. So you could work with someone in your life that's like that. If you're out of a creative field, it could just be an advisor or a mentor that's like, oh, I see this. What if you tried this? So mentorship, producers, editors, people that can see the path for you and help you a little bit get past your own mental block. Because it's already there. It's already good enough, but you're blocking yourself. And someone else can kind of look at it and say, well, what if we tried this, this, and this? And suddenly what was good becomes great or amazing, okay? Producing is really important. It's behind the scenes and it's underappreciated, but producers are amazing. So either find your inner producer or find a producer or find someone in your life that can help you get past this illusion that I can't. Or just don't try to do what you did before. Try something else. Okay? You're going to be fine. I just pulled a couple more cards beyond this. Wheel of Fortune. So success is already in the cards, but this is what's blocking you. Your own judgment can be the worst thing. I'm failing, or this isn't going to work, or what if I'm an imposter syndrome. All of that stuff. Judgment is spirit coming through and saying, wake up. Just do it. Just do it and then keep iterating on it. That was a daily this week. Success is iterative. I said that to a friend of mine, and he's like, I don't get that. I'm like, because it's steps. People that are successful rarely are overnight success. They often take 5, 10, 15 years to get to the level that they're at of practice, a lot of hard work, and then you get a breakthrough. And because of the Three of Swords that we talked about earlier, you know when the breakthrough happens that you're going to not mess it up and just go for it. So you need failure sometimes in order to be a great success. Chew on that. Okay. You'll be more appreciative at the very least. Okay, let's look at blocks in relationships. What could be blocking you from either going deeper if you're already in a relationship or finding new friends or love? So this way it hits everybody. I'm so sick of the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords and Nine of Swords can go away. All right. So here's something thematic with the Eight of Swords. It is a prison of thought. And it is an illusion. I think this one's good enough. I don't need to repair it or replace it rather. So the Eight of Swords here, you can see that she's blindfolded and feeling stuck. But when it's reversed, it's kind of falling away. So for some of you, it's just that you didn't see yourself being able to either like be successful in a relationship or you weren't paid attention to. And maybe it's kind of like from the caterpillar to the butterfly. You're in your butterfly phase right now, but there was a point where things were slow and you just cocooned up. And this is kind of like a cocooning energy. It's time to break free of the cocoon or the chrysalis. You don't have to protect yourself so much. Some of us were bullied when we were younger. Some of us were bullied last week, who knows? But it doesn't always have to be that way. There are people that love you and see you. And so finding that group that you feel safe around can help you come out of the cocoon. And I have a really wise neighbor that one of my we have like a dog crew where we walk at night. But anyway, this very wise neighbor said, you have to love yourself in order to attract love into your life. And it's a really good lesson because if you look at your reflection and energetically, physically, emotionally, if there's something that you can't look with that with appreciation, we're not talking about Narcissus here. We're talking about just saying, gosh, thank you so much. So there's a great scene in Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. She thinks she's dying, but she's not really dying. But she's talking into a mirror when she thinks this is it. And she has a talk with herself. She's like, look at you. Look at how amazing you are. Look at what we've done. And next lifetime, we're going to do more. We're going to do it better. We're going to speak more with confidence. We're not going to take ourselves for granted. We're going to travel the world. We're going to eat that extra helping of food. We're going to have everything. And she gets a chance to do it. That's the cool thing in that story. But you can do that. You can look in the mirror and have your Queen Latifah moment and say, look at you. Look at what we've done. Thank you for bringing me to this point. It hasn't been easy, but you're still here with me. And that's what our body is. It's a vessel. Our higher consciousness will leave it and then come back in the future to another body. But we have to give gratitude to this physical vessel. It brought us this far, and God willing and guides willing, it's going to take us as far as we need to go. So we have to give it a little bit of love. Love yourself. Love the vessel that's brought you this far. And by doing so, that kindness, that empathy, that forgiveness will then attract people that have done the same work. And they're going to see you the way you see yourself. Give yourself a pep talk. That's the homework for today. And watch that movie. It's kind of silly, but it's fun. It's one of my pick-me-up movies. Let me take another drink and we'll talk about this. Okay. Yeah, I have probably 5 or 10 movies, more than that. I have a bunch of movies that if I'm down, I'll watch it, and they always make me laugh or smile, and that's one of them. Okay, so sorry, I just like got water on me as I was drinking. In the present, we have the card of creation. Hello, the energy of fire came through. So he's rekindling things. And he's saying, all right, I'm going to start living the life that I need to live, and I'm going to be happy in my skin, in my body, in my life. And that passion becomes infectious in a good way. So if you were to walk into a room and there were like 3 or 4 tables, in one table there was like deafening silence, and another one there was like tense communication, maybe some arguing, and then you saw a table where people were laughing and just having fun, you would go to that one. If you can get into the energy of laughter and joy, that is an attractive force. If you're looking for love, do an activity that makes you happy, that makes you laugh. Hang out with people that make you laugh. Laughter will be a magnet for a good type of energy. Do things that are fun, follow your passion. Doing something like, let's say you're very interested in knitting or reading, and there's a club that you create or find in your neighborhood. You might meet new people that have similar passions that then you end up hanging out with outside of that group. That's a great way where passion is a magnetic force, because it's easier to connect with people that have common interests and common ground. You've got this. If you can dream it, you can do it. This high priestess is holding on to keys as well. And she's got the door. She's like an amalgamation of all the things that we saw. That's like from the Ace of Pentacles. That's from the Hierophant. And she's saying, let's do this. Are you ready? If you can see it, if you can dream it, it can happen, but you have to believe it. And then when you're co-creating with Source, which is what High Priestess energy allows us to do, call in the highest possible version of whatever it is and leave room for something greater. And I've talked about it many times, but when I brought in this little fuzzy guy, that was something that I left room for, was something better. Let's give him a little pat on his stomach. Hey, buddy. Yeah, such a good boy. I know. Off in dreamland there. So I didn't know what I wanted when I was trying to find a dog. So I was thinking, well, maybe a Yorkie, maybe a Lhasa Apso, maybe a bunch of things, and maybe like a Benji dog. And that's what I got, was this little fluffy Muppet. And so you never know what's possible until you put it out there. And I waited until I felt like the time was right. And then when I looked at some places, some rescues, I was like, that's the one. That's what I've been waiting for. So look at his little paws down there. He's so cute. All right. We love Apollo, the mascot of this weekly collective. All right. Let me get another deck here, and then we're going to see what the next question is. Okay. Let's see here. We were looking at love. Okay, let's just look at general blocks with, okay, it would help if I don't shuffle in the manual on that one. All right, let's take a look at what's coming through for, what was I gonna do? I lost my train of thought. Oh, if you're having a health challenge in your life. Okay, so what I mentioned earlier is so powerful for healing the body. So we see a 10 of Swords where she's rising up above the pain. So entertaining the timeline that, and not just a possibility, but it really is a timeline in which you will thrive. Something amazing that's been happening with my intuition over the past 6 to 8 months is I'm starting to see timelines, and that's why I might make a radical shift. So when I was thinking of relocating to a different country, I saw a timeline where it wasn't the right time yet. And my future self said, don't do it. I was like, okay, I'll listen to myself. When I was going through some health challenges recently, I saw multiple timelines. And one of them, I saw myself very old, very gray. And I was like, that's the timeline. And I was happy. And I thought, okay, another one where I didn't make it, another one where there were more challenges. I thought, all right, so we're going to wake up and take things really serious right now. I choose that one. There are multiple paths in front of us. That is why anybody that tells you that something absolutely will happen isn't completely accurate. They can tell you, I see this timeline right now. We collectively can change it if we want to, and we might. And so every time you look, the timeline can shift a little bit. That's the cool thing with intuition. It's wayfinding. So this 10 of Swords is showing two timelines. One where the person succumbs to whatever's going on, and one where they rise above. Let's choose the rising above. And who knows how far you can rise above? That's up to you, your body and spirit. So keep pushing for the maximum recovery. People that have surprised doctors through a prognosis where they're like, oh, you're only going to have 6 months, or this is terminal, and it ends up not being terminal. You know what I'm talking about, because you find the ability in your body. You're like, I don't think so. I don't think my time is, I'm not ready just yet. So you get to co-create and decide, particularly that. There are a lot of indigenous cultures that were more capable of connecting to that final moment you knew. So you also know when it's not here. So that's one thing that I'm pretty clear on. I'm like, it's not here right now. So you can move past this if you want to, okay? Find another opinion. So the Hierophant, we love the Hierophant, but sometimes it is stuck in the past. Sometimes it is too rigid. So with the Hierophant, get second opinions and employ different techniques. This is also spirituality. Spirituality plays a big role. The reversal of Hierophant could be a lack of a spiritual approach towards it. The body is mind, body, spirit. So your mind connects you to your spiritual ability to heal and see the timelines like I talked about. Your body reacts to your mind and your spiritual connection. They're all connected. What goes on in the body affects the mind and sometimes distracts you from seeing your healing capacity. You can't always heal it all on your own, but you can help it. I believe in a combination of Eastern and Western, not a supplantation of one versus the other. So if I need to do something to get into a better place, I'll do it. Then I'll work spiritually to repair. Like when I had to take prednisone, it was terrible. And it took me a long time, 7 or 8 months, to not just repair the ear, but like get back from taking that. But sometimes that's what you have to do to survive something. So meld together the two things and find your way back. Find a way to rise above, okay? Then we have Temperance. This is God and angels and spirit in the universe and higher energy. Literally, you see it. There's always an angel in this card, right? So you are being guided, not controlled, by those sort of energies, and you are able to channel it. So one thing, I learned Reiki 1 a long time ago, but one thing that opened up when I had this thing happen was just chi energy. So if I meditate enough, I can usually, like even now, I can start to feel like it gathers up in my hands. They start to get hot. So we all have the capacity to connect with chi energy if we want to. What I'll do then is I'll direct it over parts of my body that need healing. And it's kind of like a different version of Reiki that I can do to help myself, but it can take time. It's not like immediately everything's okay. But we all have the capacity to tap into source. And the way that I did it is when that happened, I was like, I did it in a past life. That was part of it. I was just like, I know I can do this. Let's just do this. And I meditated. Well, because prednisone keeps you awake for hours. So like I had to take it heavy doses. So I was sometimes awake at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And if I had to meditate for a couple of hours, I was able to connect to new levels of energy. So sometimes it takes a while and a little bit of practice, but you can do a scan of your body. And just imagine also that you're sweeping light from above and below through the body, and you're kind of pushing out any sort of cobwebs. We'll do a little bit of that in the meditation today. I'll try to do a little bit of healing, but you can access it yourself. We all have the capacity to access it. And that is the illusion of, this is different. I like the Buddha on this, but like the traditional one, that that the only connection is the Pope, because that's what's on the card. That isn't actually like the teachings of Jesus and a lot of other spiritual leaders. We all can connect to source. We have a direct dial. We have gurus and other people that can amplify the message, but you have a direct dial. Never let anybody get in the way of that connection. And all you have to do to call is close your eyes and breathe. okay? That's meditation. And that's what you can do. Okay, just more of a, you're like, Nicholas, this is really esoteric. What can I do just to feel better right now? I know. Okay. So first and foremost, do more for yourself. The Empress is you mothering you. This can also be you allowing someone to come into your life to mother and nurture you. So either you do that for yourself or you ask for some help. Find someone that can spoil you a little bit through this. But what I actually get is the ability to heal. And the necessity for a second opinion or a deeper spiritual connection. And not to rush it, because Temperance reverse is also... I had no clue, like I said, that it was going to take like 8 months almost. So you never know how long or how far healing can go or take. So give it time, folks, okay? Give it time and don't be impatient. All right, so we've covered a lot of things. Creativity, relationships, health. I think I want to go into the spirit side here. And now it's going to be what you need to know. So gratitude to everybody that helped us get into guided. I've been kind of doing guided for a lot of this, so we've already kind of tapped into that, but I'm going to do a couple of additional pulls for guided stuff. So what does the collective that watches this now or on replay need to know is what I want to know. Sorry, this deck doesn't want to shuffle. But now we got a card coming out. 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Why is the 5 of Pentacles coming through? Okay. So, one thing that you can do for yourself right now with 5 of Pentacles is to, the little exercise that I talked about, look at yourself and thank yourself for being, thank your body, thank your guides, thank you for making it this far, especially if you've been through a lot. This is basically born out of sometimes rejection, lack of support, or pain. And then it eats away at our heart and our soul a little bit because we feel like we're not enough. So, Spirit is coming through loud and clear saying, you are worthy. You are enough. Now is the time, just like we saw the Justice card in reverse, to fight for that seat at the table. Take special care of your body. This often makes an appearance when you're on the verge, but not quite there, of getting a cold or flu. Also, one of the reasons I'm doing more walking, stretching, and work with my legs is literally my mom came through in spirit and said, work your legs. I was like, okay, Mom, because I sit too much. And I'm now not as young as I used to be, and it's more important to get the circulation going. So work out your legs, make sure there's circulation. Pay attention to joint pain in knees, ankles, and feet. And if you need to see an orthopedic specialist for that, do that, okay? That little dog, well, not a little dog, it's a scary dog, barking in the background, this is just somebody's voice that's stuck in our head saying, barking an insult, an order, or a rejection. And it's done and dismissed, done and dusted. In the present position, we have 3 of Wands in reverse. In order to see it, you have to get that perspective. So it's interesting, and I don't think I really talk about it that much, but I see it more in this version of the card. So 8 of Cups, which came through earlier, is important because it reminds us to get some distance on something, right? The 3 of Wands also is the same thing. It's saying, let me move out of my current space so that I can see what's coming. So you can't see it in the illustration, but in front of her is the ocean and there's ships coming in. Instead of ships here, they have birds, messages, opportunities. She sees one, but look, there's a couple other in the background, and it looks like they're carrying something. So there's more than meets the eye here is what I'm seeing, much more than meets the eye. And whatever you feel limited in right now, not only can you get more, but you can probably get it faster, maybe even now. So the reversal of this is saying, don't forget to get out on the ledge and look and see what's out there and coming through. Not what's right here, but I mentioned a few weeks, a few months, a few years from now. This is a card of distance and viewing, remote viewing. And the birds I like maybe even more than the ships as a metaphor, because she's sending things out, some things are coming in, but it's the belief and the understanding that it's happening. Some of you are overdue to move on. So the Ten of Wands can represent finality, fruition, completion. So something's done, but you might be holding on to it. Let it go. Literally, the Ten of Wands in reverse is saying it's done. Let it go. You may also be feeling like giving up. Don't give up. Finish what you've started, and then find something in the future where you're not feeling that weight. Like, I got to do all of this. I have to do it all the time, etc., etc. And don't perfectionism. It really doesn't serve you or what you're trying to do anymore. Okay. All right. What else do you need to know? We're just letting spirit come through, and no questions, just messages, because you guys helped open up this part of the reading. So I'm going to do this plus one more spread, and then we'll wrap up. What I'm going to say on this one is, what can you do to level up? I'll give it a little bit of guidance. I'm also very tired of the Hierophant. Okay, so all that you need, you've got. That's the first message. But you might be distracted. The Magician can get distracted by too many options. And it's like, well, what about this? What about that? Shiny things, confusion. What we want with the Magician is focus. Focus and faith. You have to believe in yourself and you have to focus. And even though he has all four elements, all four tools, he really maybe only needs to use one. Okay, next, trust your instincts. You are being guided to do something or not do something. Listen to the guidance. Third, you're the magic one that's going to make this happen. It's not someone else. They're going to be attracted to you because you've got something amazing. And that's pretty much it. Make some time to meditate. That's the next one. Here's something interesting, and I resonate with this illustration. So I was raised in a more traditional religious background, but I'm just cosmically religious now. But I remember sitting in a church as a kid thinking, this is boring. Because they weren't speaking to 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. It was just some old man droning away and all this complicated scripture and text that had no relation to me and the moment. And I'm like, why am I here? And I realized even my parents were bored. My dad would be yawning. I'm like, no one really wants to be here. And then I remember going to a yoga class once and getting such a buzz, such this sort of like energetic high. I'm like, this was better than any church that I ever went to, because we connected to spirit and source, and we worked with some healing energy. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's more than one way. That was just one path, and it works for some people, and no judgment. But for me, no, that did not work. But when I was meditating on a yoga mat after doing a really intense workout in Shavasana, I went somewhere and I was like, I want to go back to that. And so then that was one of many awakenings where I was like, oh, the rabbit hole goes much deeper. So if you're not feeling a connection in something, try something else. Even if it's what you were raised to do, even if it's something you decided to, like, we evolve, we change. I've talked about it before, but my grandfather didn't go to church. He went instead to the garden and planted flowers. And he told his wife, my grandmother, he's like, go ahead, have a great time. I'm going to have a great time here. I talk to God and the birds and the flowers and the bees. And I'm really connected. Once in a blue moon, he would drive her or go there. But he's like, that wasn't for him either. And I'm very much like my grandfather, where nature and other things help me connect to source. There's no right or wrong, but there are many ways. So your connection to source is myriad. And we have two reflections. The magician is more like connected to the elements and to nature. And traditional Hierophant is more connected to traditional religion. Neither is wrong, neither is right, and neither is exclusive. There are more than those two paths to divinity. So spirit speaks every language. Spirit is everywhere. Spirit doesn't favor one person or one religion over the other. If we knew that, if we embraced that, this world would be better. We wouldn't be fighting. but whatever. I can only do so much as a tarot reader. So in the future, we have the Fool. Get out there and explore. Try new things. Take a risk. Take a leap of faith. Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't worry about failing. Don't worry about succeeding. Just keep going. And that's, if people ask me, how do you get through stuff? I just keep waking up. Every day I just wake up and see what today brings. Some days are good, some aren't. But from all of them, I gain context. And the Fool is a really powerful card, and some days are absolutely amazing. And she's in that moment of like, I did it. Also reminding me of The Comeback. I just recently started watching that. Lisa Kudrow's funny. Okay, I mentioned we're going to do one more. What do you need to know to get out of your way? Okay. For some of us, we went through a moment of bullying or like a Mean Girls moment where someone wasn't kind or nice to us. Three of Cups in reverse can represent gossip and cruelty or exclusionary or cliquish sort of energy. So that is a chapter in the past. You're a different person now, especially if this happened in school. If we were to sit at the table now, I wonder where those people are. I wonder what they look like. I wonder if they've changed or evolved past that. Maybe they have. I definitely know I wouldn't give a darn. I wouldn't care. And I certainly would just say, what's wrong with you? Get a grip. And I just go to another table. Like literally, that's how sad are you that you're doing this? But in my head, I'd be thinking there is some sadness because people that are cruel, people that exclude, people that hate, they can't do the Queen Latifah moment in the mirror because they don't like what they see, and so they lash out at others so that they are also in pain. And so really there's healing that needs to be done. It's above my pay grade to heal all of those people, but I hope that they find the healing that they need, and we can just release that energy with the understanding that maybe they were hurting too, and they hurt me instead of healing themselves, okay? The Knight of Wands in reverse. In this moment in time, there's a lot of fire coming through this week. I could feel it, but it needs a place to go. I like the little gecko on the nose of this horse. What are you doing right now to step into your fire? Into the fire, like Sarah McLachlan. Because I feel like it could be really fun. It could be really creative. It could be really surprising, actually, at what you could accomplish if you just allow your passion to come through. So this week, do something that allows you to step into your passion or your fire. I like geckos, lizards, salamanders because they have the ability to heal. Not all, but most. So if they're in danger, they can drop off a piece of their tail and then regrow it. So if something doesn't work, you can learn from it and bounce back. I get a lot of like bouncing back and rebounding energy from this, okay? A reverse knight takes a step back and asks themselves, is this what I want? If it isn't, then you can move into something else. I keep getting the energy of incoming people as I'm reading for different signs. So spring is sprung in the Northern Hemisphere. Even in the Southern Hemisphere with the change of seasons, this is a chance to possibly meet someone new. The Lover's energy is new friends, new connections. It's also reconnecting, maybe even because we have like the Eye of Providence in the background. This can be spirit and your spiritual connection opening up, you talking more to people who have passed if you're working on your mediumship. It's a magnetic card, so when you're entering into your fire and passion, you bring in people that are attracted to the same sort of things, and maybe you too. So hobbies, sports, activities, forget all the other stuff that we're trying to accomplish or whatever. When you have those activities, sometimes those are the best and most fulfilling because there's no, what's the best word? Nobody has an angle. It's not like you're trying to accomplish something. You're just doing it for the love of doing it. So for the love of something, I want you to connect with a passion, and you might also connect with a person. Friend, loved one, future ally, who knows, something of that nature. Okay, let's go into a little bit of a healing meditation, and then we always have one final card after this. Thanks to everybody for voting that in. That was good. Today was better. It's good. Not better. It's fun to change it up. And I'm doing that even on the monthlies, and I may completely change the format next month because I want to get them out even faster. So I might do something spirit-led for every sign. We'll see. But like, I have to just keep changing. We all have to keep changing. Okay. Close your eyes for a moment. I'd like you to take a couple of deep breaths. Maybe do what I just did there, where I hunch my shoulders up a little bit, and then on the exhale, release it. Stretch out a little bit in both directions. Get up and stand if you need to. We did that last week. And let go of whatever you might be holding on to. It no longer holds a place in your heart or in your body, okay? Now, take a moment to find a place where you can be seated, and let's connect to something beautiful. We need to have sun in this meditation, so let's imagine we're at the beach. It's a pristine beach, perfectly manicured. There's nothing on it, so that you feel comfortable putting your legs and maybe sitting in a cross-legged position or laying down if you would like to. Beneath you, if you're laying down, you can feel the warmth of the sand holding you up. If you're seated, you feel the solid energy as the sand radiates the sun's light above. So as above, so below. You can feel it above you and beneath you, and you are the recipient of the light in both directions. Even the core of the earth has heat and energy. So we have multiple points where there is light, there is heat, there is support. Imagining now that you could open up the crown and the root chakra at the same time and allow in the light to those two areas. As it goes through the root and starts to work its way up into your creative center, the second chakra, imagine that if there's anything that you want to breathe life into or power into this week, you can do so. Feel that moving up into the solar plexus. And then also from the top crown chakra, you can feel it opening up your third eye, your throat, and meeting you in the heart. From the heart, the light can radiate through the body. As you breathe and connect with the light above you and beneath you, imagine that it goes to parts of your body and mind that need healing. Old wounds in the heart, in the soul, in your mind, battle scars on the body, places of injury, places of discomfort, places of disease. Allow the energy to flow into those spaces and reduce, eliminate, and replace it with something brighter and lighter. Breathe for a few moments here, and then we'll direct the hands over the body. But first, imagine that you can connect with them. I'm feeling it now. I feel both hands connected to the source of the earth and to the sun. And now let's bring the hands across our body, imagining that as we move them over our body, we can clear anything that doesn't need to be there. You can even push some of it away, imagining that if there's anything that is sort of like stuck like a cobweb in your auric field, you're gently sweeping it away. Make sure to sweep in all directions, allowing everything to be completely cleared and clean, placing your hands now on your heart, thinking to yourself something positive. I'll lead it and then leave some space for you to add. Thank you, body and higher self, for helping me navigate the physical world. Thank you, body, for taking me through the best and the worst moments. And I'm sorry if I haven't always appreciated you for all that you've done. You're amazing. And now think about some positive things that you bring to the world. Thank yourself for that. Maybe it's your kindness. Maybe it's your generosity. Maybe it's your laughter. Maybe it's the sound of your voice, especially if you're a singer. Whatever your gift is, thank yourself for kind of like stepping into that gift, and then just sit in that feeling of gratitude. I'm seeing like these petals start to open. So I'm almost imagining that there's a flower of energy that's opening up to receive the sun, to receive pollination of new ideas, new opportunities, new abundance. Gently start to come back into your body. Breathe, and on the next natural exhale, open your eyes. Okay, we're going to look at one final card. This can be anything that you need some assistance with. Okay. So, final question, final card. We have the Five of Wands. I talked quite a bit about this today, but if you asked a yes or no, I think there's a better way than this. It's yes, but there's some challenges in front of you. So like if you're looking at a job opportunity or a relationship, there's a lot of work. So I would say yes, but I think there might be something better, or yes, but don't underestimate the work that's in front of you. For everybody, Five of Wands is an encouragement to get out of the trenches a little bit, to get the big picture, which we talked about with Eight of Cups and Three of Wands. It's also an encouragement to elevate the group activity. Try to help everyone see the common interests. Don't give in to competition or to conflict, because this can represent conflict. Save your time and energy for something better. Partnering up with someone, diffusing the energy of the group a little bit could also be advantageous. Okay? What an amazing and powerful and beautiful reading we had today. So I'd like to begin simply by saying, thanks for showing up, folks. That was fun for me, and I hope it was fun for you. Just as a little bit of gratitude for those that did show up, I just gifted a few memberships. I'm going to take a couple of moments here to say thank you to those that gave back. So let me see here. I'm going to go to fan funding. All right. First of all, thanks to everybody. I have to stop soon because my voice is tired. But thank you for just showing up today, whether you watched it live, on replay, you listened to it while you were walking or hiking, or however you're listening to this. Thanks for being present. I'd like to give some extra gratitude to those that became a channel member or gave a sticker as well. So welcome, brand new to the channel. I don't know how to pronounce it, but BOWLDS, Bolds, I think it is, Bolds Lord. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you to Diana Caputo. I've seen your name here before. Thanks for joining and becoming a member. Celebrating an amazing 29 months. Ann Walk, always good to have you present. So thank you very much. Thank you for not weeding out this one. I do appreciate you. You're amazing. All right, Sam Murphy, thanks for your contribution and for being a member. Thank you so much, Anne, as well. Much appreciation. Mel 305 Miami, good to see you again. Thanks for the sticker. Cheryl, thank you very much, not only for the sticker, but for the membership. Let's see, Yolanda Vandergraaf, always good to see you here. I recognize the name. Thanks for the sticker. Piscean, and it got cut off a little bit. Thank you so much for contributing to chat and for being a member and for giving the sticker. B. Deidre, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being a longtime member and for your sticker today. Christina, good to see you again. Thank you for your contribution. Daniel, thank you very much. The beach looks good. Thanks for that sticker. Or Danielle, sorry about that. Colette, good to see you again. Thanks for speaking up in chat and for being a longtime member and for the sticker. Kayla, thank you so much for being a member and for your sticker as well. And Anwalk, you've been great today. Multiple contributions. Colette, same thing, multiple contributions. Jackie, good to see you again. Longtime member. Again, I recognize that little crown with the dot in it. So thank you so much for being here for a long time and for giving back as well. Colette, thank you very much. Again, multiple contributions. Jamie, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for the sticker and for being a longtime member. And yes, it is a glorious Sunday, especially with all of you here. All right, let's see what's next here. Karen, thank you very much for your sticker. Much appreciated. Multiple contributions again. Colette, thank you so much. I see several in a row. Same thing with Supergirl. Thanks for being a member and for gifting multiple ones. And thanks again. You guys helped us with the spirit-led portion. I appreciate it. Same thing with Sam Murphy. Same thing with Colette again. Sinister Days, good to see you again. Thank you for your sticker. Kathy Smith, thanks for the sticker and the membership. Colette, thank you again. Multiple contributions today. Shelly, thanks for the sticker and membership. Supergirl, thank you very much for your sticker and for being a member. Colette, thanks again. Kayla, thank you very much for multiple stickers today. Alba, thank you for your sticker and for being a member. Colette, thanks again. You guys rock. Miriam, good to see you. Thanks for the sticker and membership. And thanks for your first super on a live stream. That was great. Handengel, I think it is. I can't say that too much, but Taksumika, thank you very much for your contribution. Kristen, thank you very much for your sticker. And Walk, thanks again. And Colette, thank you again. Lynette, good to see you. Thanks for the sticker and for being a longtime member. Handel, Taksumika again, thank you very much. MPS Lyman, rather. Thank you. Good to see you again. I always struggle with the username. Apologies. But thank you for the sticker. Alba, thank you again. Multiple contributions today. Created by Deanne. Good to see you again. Thank you so much for your sticker. Let's see. Claudia, good to see you. Thanks for the sticker and for the contribution. Same thing with Alba. I forgot to mention that you were, membership, I should say. And then I gifted 5. Welcome to the people that joined. My little Margie, thank you for 54 months. That's amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed today's reading. I felt it was special too. I think they're all beautiful in their own ways, but we went a little deeper today. And sometimes it's nice to just do the spirit-led stuff because it allows me to connect to source. All right. Thanks to Coda for letting me know what was going on with the poll and everything, and always for your help with the moderation. This will be available to you on replay. I'm going to do my best. I've been able to kind of get 2 to 3 done each day. I'm going to try to wrap them all up, the monthlies, by Tuesday if I can. I'm going to try to do another 1 or 2 today if I can. But I'm getting caught up. The air conditioner threw me off a little bit. And then we'll try to do a shorter version for the next month so that I can actually get a month ahead. So I'm going to do something different for the next round. So far, it's been fun. It helps me not get bored too. So it's all good. Change is good. All right, folks, before I wrap up, like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can give me a follow on social media if you'd like. All the information is on my website, including how to book an appointment or give back through PayPal if you'd rather not do it here on YouTube. I'm here every Sunday the same time, so I hope to see you again. Until I do, lots of love and light. Make it an amazing week ahead. Take care, folks. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.